We have to stop the habit of stonewalling out there. You know who I'm talking to if it's you. It's where you're in your relationship and maybe for good reason you feel you have the stonewall to where you try to have conversations or deal with conflict with your partner and it gets to be a touchy subject, or maybe they always blow up or something, to where you get to a space to where whenever the toughest conversations come up, you shut down, you get quiet, the things that go unspoken, right? Or maybe you walk away. You don't even entertain listening to your partner talk, and not that you don't say nothing back, right? You literally leave the room altogether to avoid the conversation. This is one of the most unhealthy things and practices you can build in your relationship. See, so often we talk about the partner that comes in and doesn't know how to have a constructive conversation, to where they're speaking in toxic ways or being really unhealthy and aggressive and all those things, but you're doing equally just as much damage by not saying anything at all, keeping it silent, to where you now leave your partner on the island by themselves to come to their own conclusions without your input. We call this robbing the information pot. See, in a constructive, crucial conversation between two people, it's very important that both individuals put all the information needed to be in the pot on the table so that you both can hear and understand what's going on with the full scope, and then you work through the issues together to come to conclusions on the other side collectively. But whatever's going on, your partner will never be able to actually help you come to that space if there's things that you're struggling with to work through with them, if you're not willing to put information in the pot and speak up already as it is. And then what happens? Your needs go unattended to, your concerns go unaddressed, and eventually over time, you start to lose your voice in the relationship as a whole. You start to get to a space to where you start building resentment. Even if you speak up in different times, but you stonewall when it matters most, you still won't be able to express and get off of your chest what needs to get off your chest so that you can be healthy, happy, and fluid in a relationship and be a constructive partner to the relationship and not a destructive one, right? Every time you stonewall, you carry negative energy that needs to be released. Remember that. Now, it's important to understand why you use stonewalling in the first place. And it's a trigger response to avoiding emotional discomfort and conflict. And it stems from a deep fear of confrontation, vulnerability, or fear of being overwhelmed by your emotions. And all this leads to is you eroding the trust and intimacy in your relationship, to where your partner starts to feel ignored and frustrated and left out because you're not opening up and talking to them. It actually escalates conflict. So what you're looking to avoid, it actually intensifies it. And that sets the stage for even bigger blowups in the future, which makes things much worse for you at the end of the day anyways. And most important of all, it impedes both of you and your partner's ability to grow emotionally, because you're now both deprived of the opportunity to exchange perspectives, truly listen to each other, try to understand the other person, and grow through how to operate together and resolve conflict in constructive ways and understand each other's needs better. And you don't get to build the emotional resilience that's required to make it in a committed relationship so that it can last. You have to be able to go through the tough times, not run from them. So the first thing we're going to do to stop stonewalling, to get yourself better results, is build and develop your emotional awareness, which is start identifying the specific triggers or feelings that actually makes you want to stonewall and give you that urge to shut down in the first place. And as you start to notice these things and these triggers, whenever those triggers are happening, I want you to build the habit of reminding yourself to lean into the conflict, not in a combative way, but in a constructive way versus leaning away and shutting down. And you're going to do this by practicing expressing your feelings and concerns calmly and constructively, using I statements to communicate how you feel without blaming your partner. That's going to put you a lot more ease, that you can say what's on your heart and on your chest and get it off of your chest without them feeling highly offended because they're feeling attacked by what you're saying. So remember, it's calm, it's constructive, and it's without blame. So an example could be, I feel overwhelmed when we talk about these type of issues and concerns. It's a lot for me to handle. Me, and here's why. And then offer the same space and courtesy to your partner in return to sit and then just listen to them and actively listen and see what you're pulling from what they're saying, not focusing on what they may be saying that's geared towards you, but what the message is in it. Third thing you're going to do is set boundaries for breaks. If you know stonewalling is a thing you're trying to work away from doing, it's still a habit right now. And so set in breaks whenever things become too much for you. They become overwhelming. Let your partner know, hey, can we take 5? Can we take 10 minutes? Let me just go recollect myself, and we can revisit this. But make sure you follow up to re-engage back into the conversation. If you always say, let me take 5 or take 10 minutes, you never come back to, finish the convo, your partner's going to start feeling away and building resentment and feel like you're just trying to use that as an excuse to escape the conversation altogether. But meet them in the middle with breaks and then re-engage when you've got a chance to reset. And if you need help building these skills to stop stonewalling so you can actually be productive in your conversations with your partner instead of self-sabotaging them, DM me coaching and we will get to work. Let's get it.